Have you ever had something special within you? Something that seemed to guide your steps, only to wonder what would happen if it ever left? Some gifts arrive quietly, like a breeze passing through an open field. They help us for a time, then move on, leaving behind a lesson we did not know we were learning. This is a tale from a timeless village, where the wind once listened to a young woman who knew how to listen back. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for all your support. In a small farming village resting between open fields and a patient forest, life moved at the pace of seasons rather than days. Roofs were softened by moss, paths curved gently through the land, and the wind carried the scent of soil wherever it went. In this village lived a young woman named Elin, known not for speaking loudly, but for listening well. From an early age, Elin sensed the wind before it arrived. While others noticed it only when leaves stirred or doors creaked, she felt its turning deep inside her, like a quiet thought forming. She could tell whether it would come from the hills or drift out of the forest, whether it would arrive gently or press hard against the fields. Each morning, farmers paused near her gate on their way to work. Elin would step outside, watch the sky, feel the air, and point softly. The farmers adjusted their planting just a little, and when storms passed through, their crops stood strong. Shepherds waited for her sign before leading their flocks across open ground, trusting the calm certainty of her hand. Elin never asked for praise. She carried water from the well, walked the same dirt paths as everyone else, and mended her clothes by the fire at night. To her, the wind was not a possession, it was something borrowed, something to be respected, not commanded. As years passed, the village grew steady and full. Fields bent but did not break. Trees held their fruit. People began to speak more openly of Elin's gift, and children followed her steps, hoping to learn her secret. Some wondered if the wind favored her alone. Elin noticed the change. At times the wind lingered near her longer than before, lifting her hair, brushing her sleeves, as if waiting. She felt a quiet pull inside herself, a sense that she might ask more of the wind. Still, she remained patient and silent. One summer, the weather grew uncertain. Clouds gathered and scattered without warning. The soil cracked between sudden rains. Villagers came to Elin more often, their voices tense, asking not just where the wind would go, but when it would arrive and how strong it would be. Elin listened, but the wind's voice felt softer now, harder to hear. One evening, standing alone at the edge of the fields, she reached out, not with patience, but with need. She urged the wind to turn, to hurry, to save what was drying under the sun. The grasses trembled, but the wind did not obey. The storm that followed was uneven. Some fields were watered, others flattened. No homes were lost, yet something delicate had shifted. In the days that followed, the wind surprised Elin. It arrived without warning and left without farewell. Seasons passed. Elin grew older, and the wind grew distant. Where once she had certainty, now there was silence. When villagers asked for guidance, she listened carefully, but sometimes there was nothing to hear. One autumn morning, a young farmer stood at her gate, waiting. Elin closed her eyes, then slowly lowered her hand. She had no answer to give. The farmer nodded, thanked her, and made his choice alone. That day, Elin walked beyond the village into the forest. She sat quietly and waited, not asking, not reaching. The wind moved freely through the trees, untouched by her thoughts. In that stillness, she felt both loss and peace. When she returned, Elin changed. She no longer pointed to the sky. Instead, she walked beside others, teaching them how to feel the soil, how to watch the clouds, how to wait. The village learned together, sometimes struggling, sometimes succeeding. The fields were no longer perfect, but they endured, and the people learned patience. In her later years, Elin sometimes felt a familiar turning inside her chest, gentle and brief. She smiled and let it pass, grateful for what had been given and for what it taught her when to let go. Because some gifts, like the wind, are not meant to be held forever. They guide us for a time, and when they leave wisdom behind. What gift in your life have you learned to let go of, and what did it teach you? Comment it below. Thanks for watching.